Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I am all snug in my onesie and I've got my giraffe with me because I decided to do a story time. Some of you might know that I went to London not very long ago, some of you might not, but anyways, I went to London to take part in being in the crowd and in the audience for a filming of a new TV show which is called A Night with Take That. Basically Take That, we're doing a TV show where they were singing and it's going to be aired soon, and I was lucky enough to be in the audience for it. So yeah, that is crazy. That shit does not happen and I don't know how it happened, but we weren't allowed to film any of it because obviously it wasn't going out live, it was being like pre-recorded. So I decided to sit down right now and tell you exactly what happened before it gets aired, because honestly it was just crazy from the beginning to the end, honestly. So you know when you're scrolling through Facebook and you're absolutely bored shitless, but you've got tons and tons of work to do and you're just not doing it, so you procrastinate and then just scrolling and scrolling? Yeah, it was one of those days and this quiz thing, this question just popped up and I just decided to click on it, and it was like, yeah, win tickets to see Take That and all this stuff, and I was like, let's face it, this doesn't happen to normal people. I am not going to win, but I am bored, so I'm just going to go down and I'm going to answer the question, and once, yeah, done. Did that. Completely forgot about it. Didn't even know that the quiz existed. Completely forgot that that even was a prize. Forgot it was a thing. It was gone, poof, out of my mind, never to be seen again. And then I think it was about a week or so later, I'm not entirely sure, I was just scrolling through my emails as you do, checking them, just being like, what's going on? And then I had this email from someone that I'd never seen before, like I'd never seen the email address, and I was like, what is this? So then I clicked on it and it was like, congratulations, you've won 2 tickets to the filming of A Night with Take That. And I was like, you what? I didn't really know what it said. I had to read it about 3 times. But yeah, it was telling me that I'd won a pair of tickets to go see Take That in London, be in the crowd, watch them perform and have a night with them. So naturally I was at uni, so I didn't really know what to do. I was low-key stressing out, low-key excited. There was a mix of freaking emotions going on. You ever seen Inside Out? Yeah, there's literally all of those emotions in my brain. And then I rang my mum and I was like, Mum, you'd never guess what? She was like, what? Obviously. And then I was like, I've just won 2 tickets for A Night with Take That. What did she reply with? You what? I can't hear you. Helen. So yeah, I rang her and I was like, I've won 2 tickets for the filming of the show in London. And I genuinely thought my mum was going to cry on the phone. She was like, can I come, can I come, can I come? And I was like, well, I wasn't going to take anybody else, was I? So yeah, we kind of just screamed on the phone and was like, oh my fucking god, we're going to see Take That, because I didn't think I'd get to see them this year because I don't have tickets to their tour or anything because I couldn't afford it. And then boom, out of nowhere, we're freaking going to see them. That doesn't happen to normal people, what the fuck? So yeah, I was frantic because we literally had a week, maybe less than that, to sort out accommodation, travel, and I actually had to get the day off work because I was supposed to be in that day. That was very, very stressful. Yeah, after a lot of arranging and things, I managed to get the day off work, and then it was a couple of days before and we decided to sit down and try and book travel and accommodation and stuff, and it just wasn't working. It wasn't going according to plan. Like, we couldn't stay over because I was at work on the Friday morning and it was on the Thursday night in London, and I live in Preston, that's where I work, so it was a bit of a distance. We got to the point where like, we can't stay over, we can't figure out travel, and we were literally gonna give up. And then my mum was like, no, this could be a once in a lifetime chance, we have to do this, we've got to sort something out. So we did it, we sat down and we were like, right, this is going to be a lot of running around and a lot of freaking travelling, but we're going to do it. So what we decided to do was, I'd get a train to Manchester and then I'd get on a megabus all the way to London, and my mum would get on a megabus in Newcastle and then meet me in London when she gets off hers. Which was fine, that was all going according to plan. And we met and it was fine and we were so excited and we were in London and it was just so nice. But on the way there, my bus decided to run out of water, so that was not a fun time. But yeah, we got there in one piece, we got there in enough time. We went and we couldn't figure out how to work out the tubes, but we did it. We got on the tube, got on the train, got to Ellswood Studios, which is where it was going to be filmed. Basically it was like on the outskirts of London, like it was so far from everything, it took us ages to get there. So we found where we were going and then we queued up, and then they started giving us wristbands and things, and they asked us, do we want to be seated or do we want to be standing? Now I knew my mum wouldn't be able to stand for like hours and hours on it, and so we're like, yeah, we'll have a seated one. So we got given like an luminous orange wristband, which we had no clue what was for, but we got given one. And then we were waiting in a queue like to go in, there was loads of people and everyone was dressed up all colourful and stuff, and we tried to make the effort with colourful. And then we went in and we had to go in a queue, and they took our coats off us and put them on hangers and gave us a ticket, and nobody was allowed, wait for it, I nearly had a heart attack, nobody was allowed a mobile phone into the studio. They took them off her, they literally took our phones off her. I literally felt like my limb had been like dismembered, like I couldn't deal with it. I was sat there and I was like, there's so many things I want to take a photo of and I just can't. They took my phone off me, they took my mum's phone off me, and they put them in bags, and I didn't even know what time it was. I was stressed. I've never not had a camera on me, so that was very, very weird. And then we were put into this kind of like waiting area with tables and stuff, and we're all just kind of sat, and the tables were covered in different coloured things. There was like feather boas, there was glittery hats, there was scarves, there was Hawaiian headbands, Hawaiian flowers, you name it, it was there. And they were for us to dress up and get into the colourful theme. Mum decided to go all out with Hawaiian and had a Hawaiian flower sort of wreath around her neck, and she had a Hawaiian headband on, and I was like, oh my god, I am not with you. And then I decided to pick up this. It was like a colourful peace symbol scarf, which I put around my neck because I thought I was cool, and I'm just not. And they said we could take a bottle of water into the studio because obviously it's going to be red hot and it's going to be warm, so we might want to do that. So we got our bottles of water and we had all our colourful stuff on, and we were sat waiting, and we knew what time it was going to start and everything, and all going according to plan. Starting to fill up in the waiting area. Yeah, we were excited. We were just going with it. And then the guy came out to tell us some bad news. To tell us that they were running late. Just what we wanted to hear when we had a megabus to catch to get back. Basically, it was due to finish at 10:30, and then we had a train to get and another train to get back to central London, which would get us there for about 12:30ish, and our megabus is at 1 to go home. So running over is really not what we needed. We found out that the reason it ran over is because there was a crash on one of the motorways, and one of the buses of people that were supposed to be in the audience that won tickets to get there couldn't get there. So it was stressful, honestly. It was the slowest system of getting us in there I've ever seen in your entire life. They called you by wristband colour, and they were like blues, silvers, reds, and we were like, right, well what about us? Literally they left the orange wristbands till the very last minute, and it was running over by like an hour and a bit at this point, but I had no watch on, so we had to ask other people what time it was. And then we were just talking to people around us, and we were like, this is so stressful. Everyone was a bit stressed, nobody knew what they were doing, and it was just running over by so much, like it was an hour and a bit late, and we were like, stress. But then finally we got to go through. What they did was, it was at obviously the Ellswood TV studios. They took us through out the back, round all the TV sets, like literally I felt like I was walking around an industrial estate, and then round the back of this shed thing, and then left us there in a queue until we went in. They took us in like a couple at a time. We literally went in twos, and I was like, we were stood there so freaking long. We're talking like nearly an hour and a half late at this point, 2 hours, and I was like, oh my god, I was so stressed because I knew we had something to get on, we had transport booked. So basically we finally got in, and we were all like stood, and it went into this massive like studio thing, but it was all done out, but they made it like intimate, so you had the stage and you had like the fans and like the crowd just around it. Basically we went in, and the whole room was like black, like blacked out curtains and everything, and they had lights all the way up at like sort of fairy lights, and it was really cute. And they had like trees everywhere, and then you had the stage which was all white, and there was different like statues on it, like there was a horse, and there was like a hand, and there's like a Victorian woman, and there was all sorts of stuff. And then the kind of crowd was sort of like arched in front of the stage, so you had like a section of chairs there, section of chairs there, and a section of chairs in the middle, and then you had people stood like round the outsides. So we were waiting to go in, and it was just so pretty, and there was lights, and there was like cages with lights hanging, and it was just, honestly, I've never seen something like it. It was obviously supposed to be Wonderland, and it was just so cute. And we were waiting to go in, and the guy came over and was like, I've got a seat for 3 people. We were like, right, there's only 2 of us, so there's no way in hell he's going to take us. So he looked to the people behind were to take them, and we were kind of stood there like, where are we going? And he was like, right, okay, no, I'll take you 2. So he took me and my mum through. My mind was blown. He gave us front row in the middle. Literally, take that, we're there. I was there. Literally, I couldn't have been closer to them if I tried. I was front freaking row, like, As soon as we sat down, we literally grabbed our seats and we were like, we are not going anywhere, mate, we are not going anywhere, we are staying here. Give me super glue because I am not moving. We were starting to like freak out. We were like, because I have never been that close to them. I've always been at the back of the arena or stadium, and stadiums are massive, and now I'm literally going to be a couple of footsteps away from them. It was very, very bizarre, and my mum had never seen them before, which is why I took her, because she's always wanted to see them. Basically we're all just kind of sat, just kind of chilling, and there was a guy that came up onto the stage and told us like run through what's going to happen, like the boys are going to sing and we're going to ask you to do some stuff and interact and stuff. And to start off with, he was trying to like break the ice between all the audience and stuff, and he picked volunteers from the crowd and got them to walk around and do silly things and just kind of get the atmosphere going. And then the boys came out and he told us, basically we were told to cheer really, really loud and stuff, and they came out from the back, so we all turned around and watched them and they sang a song, and then they came round through the kind of sections between where the chairs are, and it was just kind of like, oh my freaking god, R.I.P. me, like we really did not know what to do. And they were stood in front of her, literally Gary Barlow was right in front of my freaking face, because the camera that he had to look in was right next to me. I was sat next to the camera woman, so obviously everything he was doing was aimed at this camera, and it was so freaking bizarre. And they come out and they were performing on the stage right in front of her, and they sang quite a few songs. I'm not going to tell you what songs they sang because that's just going to ruin it. But they sang quite a few songs. They sang my favourite song, and we had the photographer and the cameramen filming the audience at all times. Actually, we couldn't even see the cameras, but we were on camera all the time. And we were singing a song and they were performing it, and I had the cameraman right in my freaking face. Like, it's not even aired yet, but I guarantee that I am not gonna like what I see. And then they did like a Q&A, and they were kind of like crawling around and stuff, and they were just kind of laughing on with her, and they were sat like right behind me and right next to me and like, walking around in front of me, and it was just, we were so calm. Like literally, I have never been that close to them ever. Like everyone was so calm. They were walking around asking questions in between songs when they were picking out what bits they need to refilm and whether or not the crowd needs to do certain things. Like Mark was on the stage and he was dancing around and he was laughing, and he managed to rip his trousers, which is normal for him, so they had to like stitch them while they had like a break interval in between like the filming and stuff. And it was just so freaking cool. Like, we were given stuff to like hold up and that. We got given these little lights which were hold up during Rule the World, which was pretty amazing. Like literally, it looks so good from being in the crowd, so you can imagine what it was like. And there was just ticker tape absolutely freaking everywhere, and they were butterfly shaped. These are what they are. Every time I was clapping and like getting a butterfly stuck in my hand. But it was just so freaking insane. Like, it was so intimate, and they were walking around in front of her, they were interacting with her, they were smiling at me, Mark winked at me, it was like they were coming towards her, and me and my mum were kind of like hugging each other and we were watching her. And then Mark was talking about his kids, and I was practically one of the youngest ones there, and when he was talking about his kids he was looking directly at me and kind of interacting with me because he was sat literally right behind me and I was turned around. And it was just so calm. Like, I can't even describe the experience. You'll have to watch it because we weren't allowed to film it, and it's something you can't explain. Literally, words cannot explain it. But I was literally so happy. Even my mum was like, I have never seen you smile that much. And honestly, we were just kind of dancing along, clapping along, forgetting that there was cameras there, interacting, and it was just honestly one of the best nights. So I am so glad that we went, because that is never going to happen again. You are never going to get that. The actual show, A Night with Take That, is being aired on Saturday, the 8th of April at 8:30 on ITV. Honestly, watch it and you'll see what I mean. It was such a cute setting and it was so intimate, and honestly it was an experience that you're never going to get again. That's nothing that you're going to get when you're at a concert. That atmosphere is not going to be the same. Like, they were working with us and we were working with them. Like, it wasn't a crowd screaming at Take That. Even though we were all fans there, we were all kind of like working together, and sort of what the boys wanted us to do, we were doing. Like, it was kind of like a team, because obviously they need the crowd to be loud, they need the crowd to dance, and they need the crowd to sing. And it was just kind of like, it wouldn't work if we hadn't worked along with them. So it was just, honestly, you could not replicate that. That is a once in a lifetime chance. I am so glad that we went. I literally can't describe it. It was one of the best experiences of my life. Like, seriously, you will never ever get that close to Take That. Like, that is never ever going to happen again. They were literally stood right in front of me. Mark was crawling around the floor in front of me. Shit like that don't happen. But yeah, that was my little story of a night with Take That, and we did get out late and we were really stressed because we had half an hour to get to the train and it was more than half an hour away, but the kind security guards decided that they would go get our stuff for us and get us out before anybody else so that we could get back, because obviously most people there were from London or they were staying over, but we couldn't, so we had to get a train back and then a megabus, and they were really nice with that, and they were like, yeah, we'll get you out straight away, we'll get all your stuff for you. And we did manage to make our train and we did make our megabus. We were shattered when we got back, but it is so worth it. So yeah, catch a night with Take That at 8:30 on ITV this Saturday, and watch out for me and my mum. We are front row. I don't know how much of us will be aired, I don't know if you'll see us, I don't know, they might have cut it out, but honestly the camera was right in my face at some point, so we were front row, so I highly doubt that we're not going to be able to be seen, but we'll see what happens. I was wearing like a flowery sort of top with white sleeves and I had cat ears in my hair, so that's not going to be, yeah, you're probably going to see that. So yeah, I'm really scared as to what they actually got on camera, but we don't care because when we were there we were having such a good time. So yeah, catch that. Tell me if you see me, tell me if you enjoyed it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time guys, bye.